Tom Clark's Main Event is a Boink Studios production. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook at Boink Studios, and check us out on boinkstudios.com, where you can see all of our projects, past, present, and future. And now, on with the show.
This is Daddy's show. Step off.
Hey, what is up? Welcome back to the program, folks. Thank you for tuning in. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tom Clark, and this is Tom Clark's Main Event. We're back once again here on Facebook Live. Glad you are with us. We're also recording today. The show will post on YouTube and is always available on boinkstudios.com. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes, Google Play, and iHeartRadio. This is episode number 122, and yes, we're moving right along here on Facebook Live. I want to thank everyone for joining us here, of course, and for coming back each and every week. Much thanks to Heidi Ryan and the whole crew at Wrestling Rumors for giving us this platform. We do greatly appreciate it. So episode number 121 was the Royal Rumble and Takeover Phoenix preview. We covered both events, gave predictions, and discussed other bits of news. But guess what? Now it's time to see how we did, folks. That's right. This time the main event is the Royal Rumble and Takeover Phoenix review. We get to talk about the results of both events, the good, the bad, the ugly, and all the stuff in between. We'll also talk about the Raw and SmackDown that happened right afterwards. So hope everyone out there is doing well. If you're listening to this show recorded, please keep in mind that we're live every Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Facebook Live. We've got a couple of changes coming up the next 2 weeks. We're going to cover that at the end of the show here. We will not be live next week, unfortunately. So, if you're listening to us because you subscribe on iTunes, we greatly appreciate it. Please be sure to leave a review on iTunes. It's a much valued review. Thank you very much. Thanks everyone for showing up today. The audience is still building as we're live here on the Facebook. Everything is rolling right along. Hope everyone is having a great week. Minnesota minus 50 a few days, but warm coming up. Yeah, I think here we're supposed to get the 60s the next 2 days or something like that. It feels colder than what it is here because of the wind chill. I know that's like that all over the country right now. So please, everyone, be safe. These are trying times if you prefer to stay warm and not freeze to death. No one wants a great big tomsicle. I'm not as big as usual. I'm down 49 pounds. There's your weekly tally of the weight loss. So your boy's losing the weight. Hope you dig the t-shirt. I'm repping the NWA today, the best pro wrestling company on the history of the planet. National Wrestling Alliance. I miss the NWA. The NWA is still going, folks. Still going strong. Nick Aldis, NWA World Heavyweight Champion. They're making a comeback. Yours truly will be going to the Crockett Cup Tournament in Concord on April 27th. Can't wait for that. And tonight, me and the boy are going to see New Japan Pro Wrestling in Charlotte, North Carolina. That's going to be a blast as well. Miss Lopez is kicking us off today. One of the folks kicking us off should say. She says she loves R-Truth. By the time WWE does something with him. Can absolutely agree. Everybody here is talking. And hello, Nikki. Welcome back to the show. Good morning, Mark. Yes, R-Truth, you're a new United States Heavyweight Champion. I dig the crap out of that. Hello, Josh. What's up, my friend? Same old heel. Here. James says, to heck with Becky. Only redhead I ever cared about is Lita. James is taking this stuff personal. You're not a true redhead, Becky. Shut up. So, okay, well, there you go. Is The Rock coming to WrestleMania? Who knows, Douglas? I don't know. He's had the opportunity to come several times in the past. The guy's busy. He's got a life outside of pro wrestling. He's got a career. He's one of the hottest, stars in the world right now. So, okay, so let's go ahead and let's talk about the shows from last weekend. Let's kick off with NXT, shall we? Let's talk about NXT Takeover Phoenix. There's only 5 matches to cover here on the program. We should be able to fly through these very quickly. You had the War Raiders in the match of the night, in my estimation, the opening match, defeating the Undisputed Era to become the NXT Tag Team Champions. That's an early Match of the Year candidate for yours truly. I love that match. I loved everything about it. Rowe and Hansen are just fantastic together. Just dynamic for a big man to move the way he does. It's unbelievable. Both of those guys. It's unreal. And I just love it. So what did you think of this match? It was dead on perfect. Best way to open the show. Loved every second of it. The crowd was amped up as expected. They had one job. That was to kick off the show and set the tone, raise the bar. They did all that and a whole bunch more stuff in that match. I loved every second of it, man. I mean, if you're a pro wrestling fan, you have not watched Takeover yet, you got to do yourself a favor and watch the replay. It's well worth your time. War Raiders did kill Adam, 100%. Mitchell says he missed tag team match. Man, do yourself a favor and go watch this for sure. Andrew says it was the first Takeover event he watched. You have to be happy with this, man. Just an awesome match. No disrespect to Heavy Machinery, but I think maybe they called up the wrong team. It's just me talking. You know what I mean? But yeah, a classic. Paul says classic, instant classic, my friend. 100% agree with that. Can't get much better than that. They tried during the course of the night. Some folks would say they topped the match during the rest of NXT TakeOver. Don't know how you feel about it. We can talk about it, though. Let's go ahead and cover it. So, Matt Riddle defeated Cassius Ohno. Good, solid match. These guys always have a solid match when they're together. I think Riddle put the period on the end of the sentence on this, put the exclamation mark at the end. I think this one's over. Cassius Ohno, I read somewhere, his teeth hanging at the boots. I don't know if that's true or not. We'll see what happens. Good, solid match. I don't expect them to revisit this anytime soon. I think it's over. Let's move to the second of the title changes of the night. Well, there's 2 title changes that night. Johnny Gargano defeats Ricochet to become the NXT North American Champion. These 2 guys threw everything they could at this match. I instantly saw some feedback on Twitter from a lot of fans talking about, man, these guys are up awful quick. Like a lot of holy crap moments, but man, they're not selling these moves. That's the problem. That's the problem right there about a lot of guys in the business today. Not enough time to sell and tell the story, which is unfortunately real life. It's reality. If you're a pro wrestling fan these days, it is what it is. Okay, but you know, I'm not a fan of it. I don't like it. I believe that once you stop selling, you destroy the art of selling. I think you destroy the match itself. And I just don't. The penchant to do that is just so great. I wish that we weren't doing that. I wish that this was the day and age that that's accepted and it's acceptable behavior. I don't care for it either. There needs to be a sufficient amount of time in between the moves. There's not. And the guys and gals will claim, well, the fans won't sit there they'll get restless. Let them get restless. It's not going to be the end of the world. You know, you can take your time and tell a story. We've seen that stories can be told in the ring without all the flips and all the no selling. It's fully possible for it to happen. So don't tell me it can't happen because I just don't buy a word of that, folks. I just don't. Paul says he's surprised Gargano hasn't won NXT Gold before. I agree with that. Liam asked DIY, yes or no. Spoiler alert. Yes, Chris just revealed it. If you didn't want to know, you can cover your ears in 3, 2, 1. So it appears that Johnny Gargano lost the NXT North American Championship to the Velveteen Dream at the NXT taping. A couple nights ago. They apparently shot 2 different endings to the match. The crowd was like, what's going on? But evidently they did that maybe just in case the news got out. Well, the news got out, but they don't want you to know what really happened, so they're trying to throw you a curveball. So there you go. I would say he's probably lost the title, though. Rick asks, is Becky Lynch going to Raw? That's a good question. I don't think that she's going full-time, but I could be wrong. We'll see what happens. You would think that if she wins the title, she'll definitely be there all the time. Miss Lopez has took us to the next match, so let's go ahead and talk about it, shall we? NXT Women's Championship, Shayna Baszler defeated Bianca Belair. So, in the pre-show, Sam Roberts buried Belair. Safe to say, I don't like the word buried. It's a little silly word. People like to use it. They throw it around. They don't really know what it means. He did his best to bury her reputation. How about that? As a wrestler. Sam Roberts is told what to say. For anyone to think that Sam Roberts went into business for himself, you must be joking. It gives me a headache to even think about the fact that people would actually believe that he did that independent of WWE. There's no chance. There's just no chance, okay? He's friendly with a lot of these wrestlers. Can't believe I had to explain this not to all you guys, but to maybe a couple, 2 or 3 that don't get it. But he's friendly with a lot of these guys and gals because he interviews them on his show. He's never going to be disrespectful intentionally. They wanted to create the aura around Bianca that she's an underdog, she can't win, which up here it sets the stage for you as you go to watch that. Well, screw Sam. It's not fair for him to talk about her like that. Next thing you know, you're cheering for Bianca, and there you go. So it's all mind games. WWE played their mind games. Didn't work because Shayna won anyway. It is what it is, but everyone's getting upset. But it's okay. Everyone take it easy. So, Brenda, what's up? Welcome to the show. Yes, Chris Dream got the title. It was a TV taping. So, yeah, he's supposedly the new North American champion. So there you go. So Tina says if fans would stop expecting people to have a 2 million move, they wouldn't feel they need to. But I agree with you. Yeah, no, I get you. Yeah. So why, just because it's 2019, why does your moveset have to consist of 1 million? I get it. You're totally right. Yeah, fans do expect it. Fans expect a lot of things, but fans also expect this stuff to, I was going to say be real. We're past that. Fans expect this to at least make some sense. That's all I want. I just want it to make sense, regardless of how it wins or who wins or who wins or who goes over, whatever. I just want it to make sense. That's really all I'm asking for. And that's not the easiest thing in the world, to be honest. So let's go ahead and finish up the Takeover show. The Baszler and Bianca Belair match was good, entertaining. I enjoyed it. Let's get to the main event. Tommaso Ciampa defeats Aleister Black to retain the NXT Championship. It looks as though DIY could be reforming now. They're still on the stage afterward, holding their titles aloft. We'll see what happens. People are cheering for it. They should be hating both these guys, but fans are fickle, as Daniel Bryan says, fickle. So there you go. Good match. Aleister gave everything he had. I would love to see Aleister Black on the main roster. I think he'll be the first of this bunch that we're talking about here today to go. I think he'll kill it. I don't know what they'll allow him to do, what they'll let him do, what they'll give him to do, I should say. But I'll be honest with you. I love Aleister Black. Always have. He's got star written all over him. Whether or not they do right by him is anyone's guess. James brought up a great point. We could talk about the Rumble. We're going to talk about Black was in the Rumble and stuff. We'll get to that totally. Paul's talking about Daniel's eco-friendly belt. I dig the crap out of that, man. What a brilliant move. WWE in times has just there's just nothing short of brilliance, and I don't use that word loosely, especially with that company. But there's moments when it's pretty freaking good, and that's good. That's a complete sense. So Roland comes out with him, has a belt. Halfway down the ramp, I'm thinking, okay, there's a gimmick in that bag. I wonder if it's a new title. No joke. And sure enough, it was, and it makes sense. When's the last time a champ had a belt personalized? Was it Cena? I think. Was it Cena? Could be wrong. Maybe. I don't know. But anyway, like their own unique title. So that's Daniel's own unique title. So, Yeah, I like Daniel Bryan's belt as well. Yeah, nice touch. All right, we got a big show to kick off for the Royal Rumble here. Big show today, as we said when we opened the program here today. We got a lot of matches to talk about. It was like 40 matches or some nonsense. Let's kick off the Royal Rumble results, shall we? Let's get to it. Raw Tag Team Champions Bobby Roode and Chad Gable defeated Razor and Scott Dawson in an odd little teaming. Razor from AOP and Scott Dawson from The Revival. So they've taken the rumor, because WWE does this, and it's smart business. It really is. WWE's taken the rumor of The Revival asking for their release, which, by the way, depending upon who you believe, what you read and where you read it, is either yes or has not been confirmed. I don't know what to tell you. I'm hearing both things. I'm hearing yes, it's confirmed. No, it's not confirmed. There were conversations had, but they didn't ask for their release. They wanted something different, but I don't know what's going on. I'll put it to you this way. Whatever happened, they're working it into the storyline now. You knew they probably were going to do that. They're doing it now. It is what it is. I can tell you all day long that I don't like it, and I don't, but it is what it is. Lee asked, what's the deal with Abyss joining WWE? Abyss won't be on TV, Lee. The chances are he won't. He's going to be in a backstage capacity. Mark says he doesn't like The Revival. I had the opportunity to work in the same promotion as Dash Wilder when he was a worker in Nashville. And some of you guys watching the show today may be friends of his. I'm friends with a lot of his friends on Facebook. He worked for a company called High Velocity Wrestling in Hendersonville, North Carolina. And he was Stephen the Fever Walters. And I was up there and did commentary for that show on a few different occasions. And every time I saw that guy, I can't sit here and honestly tell you, oh, he's WWE material. But a lot of the guys in that company were solid hands, and he was always solid. So I always came away from the show enjoying his match. I can tell you that for sure. So no, I don't wish any of these guys any sort of ill will. I hope the Revival is truly successful, whether it's in WWE or AEW, wherever they end up landing. They won't be the Revival in AEW if they end up going, but that doesn't matter. They could come up with another name old school or something like that. You know what I mean? And make it work just as well. Right? Why not? So Tina says, did shows in Georgia. He is a nice guy. Yeah, I had no problem with him at all. So, yeah, it was an interesting match. I didn't see, for a split second, I thought, wouldn't it be interesting if Razor and Dawson actually won this thing? But of course they didn't. It is what it is. So let's get on to this one. Another kickoff match. Shinsuke Nakamura defeats Rusev to become the new United States champion. As we know, they took the belt back 2 nights later against R-Truth in kind of a wonky ending to that match, or pin, or roll up. Something funky happened, but it is what it is. This was a good match. I love Nakamura. I don't care what anyone says. You can sit there and run him down all you want to, whoever wants to. I don't really care. I love I love the fact that he. I still love watching his stuff in New Japan. Do I think he'll end up back there? Maybe. I think it's real easy to dismiss this entire situation with Shinsuke and WWE and say it's a train wreck. He should just leave and go back to where he came from. I don't know if I buy any of that. He's done that. He's been there and done that. What's left for him in New Japan? You know, I think he's reached the point that Dolph Ziggler's reached in WWE. What's left? Really? Main event WrestleMania. Okay, great. But is that ever going to happen for Dolph Ziggler? Can we just be honest? No disrespect to Dolph. I'm just saying. Chris says Nakamura sucks right now. Well, I mean, that's your opinion, man. It is what it is, right? We've all got our own view on it. Liam says, R-Truth retirement belt. I hope not. I love Truth. I want him to stay around as long as humanly possible. I love that guy. That guy doesn't age. He hasn't aged in 20 years, man. It's the truth. King says, Will says, Nakamura needs a manager. Sure, a mouthpiece. Give him Leo Rush. Listen, I'm not Leo Rush's biggest fan, okay? But dude, Nakamura automatically have spotlight on him, don't you think? Wouldn't he automatically have people turning their heads to look at him beyond what he's already doing in the ring? He's a funny guy. Leo's can be funny, I guess. Why not just put him with them and saying Leo branches out? He's got a man on Raw and a man on SmackDown. It's just a thought, man. You don't have to do any of that stuff. Just saying. So, Chip says the truth is 78. Jesus, come on. Yeah, I think Leo would as well. So, let's see. What do I put in YouTube to watch your vid? Just bring up Tom Clark's main event. My YouTube channel is not huge. I don't have a ton of subscribers, man. If all you guys want to subscribe on my YouTube channel, that'd be perfectly fine with me. I'm not going to complain. I never push it. They're just available if you want to listen. That way, if you don't want to dial up Facebook or you don't have it on iTunes for some weird reason, you can watch it on YouTube or whatever. Listen to it on YouTube if you want to. It's fine. Rush is the new age Heyman of this era. Ooh, interesting take. All right, so let's jump back on the Rumble here, shall we? Let's get to let's get to a huge match. Well, I say huge in terms of the number of guys and the effort they put in. WWE Cruiserweight Champion Buddy Murphy retains his title by defeating Kalisto Akira Tozawa and Hideo Itami, who now, by the way, is gone from WWE. He asked for his release. They granted it, supposedly. And take this with a grain of salt. I would imagine that he had some sort of handshake agreement, maybe even put it in writing that he's going to Japan and Japan only. I don't know that for sure. But expect Hideo Itami to become Kenta once again and to pop back up on the independent circuit within the next few months. That's my guess. He wanted out. He wanted something different. And you know what? Things happen, man. People look at WWE as being this gigantic conglomerate of a pro wrestling business, and it is. It's a pro wrestling company, as we all know, biggest in the world and all this other stuff. But think of them as being something no different than a regular corporation, a regular company, a regular job, in which, you know, you all go to the same place the same day. You're all making the same effort or maybe different efforts to help sell the product. You're all doing your part. You all have a role to play in said job. And then one day, one of you shows up and says, I don't think I like it here anymore. This place is not really working for me. You've had that at work. I have too, surely. So sometimes the best thing to do is to just move on and find another job. Go somewhere else where you feel like you're more appreciated and you're going to be paid what you're worth. And, you know, maybe the effort's not as much on your part to make the product better, but it's everyone working together. I'm just throwing some reasons out there for you, but I would consider it nothing less than any other regular thing. Chris brings up a good point. 9-day no compete clause. That's true. I would imagine he still has a 9-day no compete clause, but here it is when it comes to All Elite Wrestling. Who cares? Because they're probably not going to get TV until the fall. The scuttlebutt right now is that the AEW is talking to TBS Wouldn't it be some odd symmetry if they ended up on a Turner network? It's like WCW, man. I'm not going to make that comparison. It's a new day. It's whatever it is. But, isn't that something? That'd be crazy. Someone keeps asking about AEW versus WWE. We've talked about that a lot here on the program. There's no versus AEW. There is none. There's versus in terms of talent going back and forth maybe, but there's no versus. They're not competition. We all agreed on that last week. I don't think I saw anyone that disagreed with my point last week when we said that AEW is not going to be competition with WWE. They're going to be a different wrestling company offering a different product on a different channel on a different night with a different vibe. That's what they're going to be. I hope it's successful. I hope they make money. I hope everyone in that company makes a buttload of money. I do. All of them. Because it means it's another successful place, another profitable place that guys can go to and make money. That's what I hope happens. But no, they're not going to be competition for WWE. Ms. Lopez says Nakamura won the last year's Rumble. This year he was in the kickoff show. That's true, but then he ends up with the United States title 2 nights later. Right? So there's something to be said for that. That's just my comment to that. Nakamura's a diamond in the rough. Don't think WWE knows. I don't know about diamond in the rough, Robbie. I think we've seen what Nakamura is capable of. But I don't know about diamond in the rough, but I think that he's got, in fact, I know he's got potential far beyond what he's being allowed to do right now. They've never let him be the king of strong style in that company because I don't think that, and I'm not all, so don't take disrespect to this, but I don't think that some of the guys can hang with him in the ring if he were truly the king of strong style the way he could be, the way he was in New Japan. That's my take. Doesn't mean that their locker room's full of a bunch of, soft-hearted guys. I'm not suggesting that. But I would say to you, I believe that a few of them would be overwhelmed by Nakamura, were he to just not go into business for himself, but turn the volume up. Do you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, there you go. Ryback. Bo, you're thinking of Ryback. There's rumors of Ryback maybe going to AEW as well. Hello, Charlie. What's up? So let's get back to this card, shall we? Let's get into the meat of the night, if we can, please. By the way, what'd you think of the Cruiserweight Championship match? I thought it was well done. I thought all 4 guys brought it, as I knew they would. Fatal 4-way match. 205 Live continues to impress as the crowd continues to be littered with crickets. I think every match on 205 Live deserves a round of applause. Doesn't always get it. The crowd is sitting there half asleep, it seems. I don't know why that is. You would think by now that live crowds would understand that when a 205 Live match is put on a huge card, especially a card as big as Royal Rumble, that the men involved are going to indeed turn the volume up and really deliver. However, you continue to see and hear the crowd just sort of go, "Oh, there's them little fellers from that other show." It's a shame it's like that. I wish it wasn't like that. It is what it is. You'd think by now, as I said, that fans would be used to this and understand we're about to be entertained. Let's enjoy this. Craig says 205 Live sucks. In your opinion, man, it's your opinion. That's cool. No worries. So we're going to get to the Nia Jax thing, Michael. Hang tight with us, my man. We're going to get there. So let's get into the meat of the card, shall we? SmackDown Women's Champion Asuka defeats Becky Lynch. Becky tapped out clean. This moment of silence brought to you by Tom Clark's Main Event. Becky tapped out, lost clean in the middle of the ring, clean finish. For anyone out there who has made the comparison between Stone Cold Steve Austin and Becky Lynch, ask yourself this. Did Steve Austin ever tap out clean on the way to becoming the top guy in the pro wrestling industry? If you said no, you're right. Okay? This is where the comparisons to Austin falls flat. And I understand it's a different era. It's men and women, which is a completely different dynamic. I understand all of that. And yes, Mitchell, I agree with you about what you just said about Nia. Thumbs up. Yeah. So you can't compare the two, folks. Lynch and Austin are two entirely different entities right now, two entirely different projects. They're just not the same. I'm sorry. That's the reality of the situation. It is what it is. I can't help it. Okay? It's not fair to compare her to him. It's just not. She might dig it, I'm guessing, but I think maybe she should be the best Becky Lynch she can be and just let Austin's mystique remain a mystique and let it stay where it's at. WWE's booking when it comes to her is amazing. And I cannot understand I cannot understand why. I don't understand why they screw with her booking the way they do. Not to be crude, I'm just saying I don't understand why they mess with it the way they do. She taps out clean to Asuka, and then we just forgot that. We just forgot that when she showed up in the Women's Royal Rumble. We just forgot. And we forgot again the next night on Raw. We forgot again on SmackDown. No one's pointing out, excuse me, you lost clean to that chick. You care so much about these titles, but yet you can't win it. I mean, you know, I'm not... No, yeah, Tina, you're right. You're right. But for me, look at the totality of the storyline. Look at the totality. Look at the track record. Look at the moments that are being created along the way. I mean, Austin's rise to the top, and as I said, don't compare and look what I'm doing. Austin's rise to the top, he was bleeding like a stuck pig, passed out in the sharpshooter. Couldn't Becky have passed out in the armbar? Would that have been too much to ask? Would that have prohibited her from entering the Women's Royal Rumble? I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm not going to try to have a lot of heartburn over this. I'm just saying. So, okay, Asuka wins clean. We think that's it. The crowd was like, yeah, what? That was the crowd reaction because they, you know, like I was like, wow, what? So there you go. If it had been anyone else besides Becky, we would be sitting here today talking about, yeah, but Tom, but it doesn't matter. I mean, had it been Charlotte, had it been anybody else, would it have really... Everyone wants so much to believe that Becky is the next big thing. She's it. And she's red hot. I'm not disputing that. But I just don't know. I'm not saying it's forced. Please don't misunderstand me. I write a lot about Becky, and I do like her a lot. I bought her shirt. I'm going to wear it to SmackDown the 26th, man. Nothing but love, okay? But from a company's perspective, is some of this forced? Am I crazy? Am I the only one that sees some of this? And no disrespect, I'm just saying. You're right, setting up for Rousey versus Becky. 100%. Need a way to get Becky versus Ronda. I get it, but couldn't they have done that without her tapping out clean? I mean, now you get... And if the point is we give Rousey ammunition to say, excuse me, didn't you tap out clean? I didn't. Great, fine. If that's the point that you're making to me, go with God. We'll go with that, okay? I'll try not to lose any more sleep over it. I'm just saying, it just doesn't feel... I don't know. I'm waiting for that yeah moment, and I don't have it yet. Forced by WWE the fans. Chip makes a good point. I don't know, man. You would think that they're not going to do anything unless they want to do it, but to your point, they feel like they're put in a corner by fans over Daniel, over Becky, over maybe Punk to some degree, and they choose, well, let's just go this direction because, whatever. And, yeah, it looks like WWE's doing the right thing. Thank God. But to your point, are they? Or are they just humoring you and throwing you a bone so you'll shut up about it? I'm just asking a question. I'm not saying. Rousey wins anyway. You can't have Ronda drop the belt to Becky. Okay, so you're talking about with Charlotte in the match. So yeah. Would have been all right with the DQ finish. How about a double count out? How about I don't know. See, I'm rebooking this match. The thing's already over. I'll try to stop that now. That make everybody happy. So I'm sorry, I just sweat this stuff. Okay, let's move on, folks. Shane McMahon and The Miz defeat the Bar to become the SmackDown Tag Team Champions. I have no idea on the planet why we're doing this. I have none. I have zero idea why we're doing this. Why do we feel the need in 2019 to put a tag team title around the waist of Shane McMahon, who's 50 or 40, 49, whatever he is? I'm asking a question. Why do we feel the need to do this in 2019? For crying out loud. For God's sake. Why? I don't know. I wish I knew. I don't know. Having said that, Shane threw some of the best punches you've ever seen him throw, which is a nice way of saying the punches actually made physical contact. And he wasn't like, batting at cartoon butterflies and stuff or like dust. Hey. I'm just saying, most of the time his punches are, come on. Really? Weaker than a baby's grip. That's what they are. It's ridiculous, okay? But it is what it is. He and Miz are your new tag team champions. Now they're headed to Elimination Chamber to take on the Usos. See, Jason says Shane won the title, and I don't like Miz as a face. I don't know how many people do. Mrs. Dad. Can we all have a quick hand for Mrs. Dad? Tremendous amount of work there, that man. Yeah, interesting. I don't know. He was never proud of me. I got to make him proud. Okay, sure. Take it with a grain of salt, Jack. What else are you going to do? That's all you can do. It is what it is. Yes, it was Shane's first tag title. Supposedly, he had always dreamed of being a tag team champion. So, I don't know. Who knows? To feed Shane's ego. I don't know. Lack of tag teams. Yeah, well, supposedly, Jim, to your point, they're supposed to start refocusing on the tag team division. We've heard this before. I don't know, man. We'll see. All right, let's keep chugging along, shall we? Raw Women's Champion Ronda Rousey defeated Sasha Banks in the match of the night. That was the match of the night. Rousey and Banks. I didn't give this match a chance. I didn't blast it. I, like many of you, said, why are we doing this? Why do I have to look at Rousey and Sasha? Why do I have to look at Sasha? What? And it wasn't set up disrespect. It's just that Sasha wasn't in that position. I like Sasha a lot. Saw her take the title from Charlotte live that night on Raw in Charlotte. What a great moment. People popped like crazy. I did too. It was a great match. It was very memorable. I still remember it. But she had not been to that level in a long time. And all of a sudden, and by the way, Sasha found out the day of that she was going to be elevated to that level against Ronda. She didn't know either. Through no fault of her own, this happened. But guess what? She went out there and killed it. Match of the night. Match of the night. I love that match. I've watched it again. I need to watch it for a third time and pick up on some other stuff, but it's so good. Both those ladies brought it, man. 150% brought it. And I know what you're thinking. Yeah, Tom, but Ronda runs through her matches God knows how many times in the course of a month. I get it. You're probably right. In fact, I would say you are right. Well, they've all but confirmed that, depending on who you talk to and who you ask and who you read, right? But having said all that, man, I dug it. I thought it was well done. There was nothing about that match I didn't like. It was just, it was fun from start to finish. Highly intense. I mean, you needed a breather after that match was over, for sure. Brad says, who do you think is the next opponent for Charlotte? Yeah, I think it's Asuka as well. Makes sense. First singles match pin. James, who are we talking about, James? You said, is that her first singles match pin? Talking about pinning Sasha? I don't know. I don't think no, because Charlotte beat her. Is that what you're asking? I'm confused. I'm sorry. Mark says, I still think Ronda is the most surprising talent right now. She's not surprising to me, dude. I've seen it from day one. The first time she stepped in the ring, I said, she's got something. I don't know if she's going to be a Hall of Famer, but Buzz, she got something. And then the next few matches, I'm like, okay, let's see. You know, you kind of sit back and go, impress me. She did. I'm impressed. Everything she does. She's not always the smoothest. She's not supposed to be. She didn't have a pro wrestling background, guys. She's an MMA fighter at heart. Judo, okay? Martial artist. It's not her background. I don't think she always has to look fluid in the ring. Having said that, her stuff looks good. And when she lays her stuff in, it looks believable. You know, those tosses over her shoulder, that stuff looks painful, man, when she's got you by the arm. And I'm sure she's taking care of her opponent, but man, it looks like it hurts to me. That's the whole point, right? Adam says Sasha carried the match. Sasha's going to dictate the pace of the match because she's the heel and she's the veteran. Heels usually call the match, and the veteran absolutely calls the match. Yeah. I don't see anything wrong with that, though, man. To your point, I don't think see anything wrong with that at all. Have they put her in the ring against some of the best? Well, absolutely. But put her in the ring against Nia, too, and the match was fine. And Nia's not a veteran. Nia's not good either. I'm sorry, guys. I don't raise your hand if you think I'm wrong, but Nia's not good. It's not good at all. I dread this. I dread what's coming with the men's division of Nia Jax. I don't approve for more than one reason, but for the biggest reason that she doesn't deserve this spotlight. She's done nothing to earn it. That's me talking. No disrespect. Nothing personal. It's nothing personal against her. It's not even because she's a woman. It's just because she doesn't deserve it. She hasn't earned it. She doesn't need it. Doesn't deserve it. That's me. Real quick on Jack Swagger. Someone just mentioned him. He did one. Jake Hager won his first MMA bout in like 2 minutes and 9 seconds. Excellent. He wanted to do it, man. He wanted to branch out. He totally embraced his pro wrestling character too, by the way. R-Truth came out and rapped his entrance song. And he's doing the We the People shtick. It's great. I love it. He's not running from his WWE background at all, and that's good stuff. I dig the crap out of it. All the best to him, man. I hope he continues going. He's not done with pro wrestling either. He said as much. Miss Lopez says Nia legitimately hurt. She did. She laid it in and looked good, but took truth down legit. How about she doesn't go back to NXT? How about she just goes somewhere else? No disrespect. I never advocate for anyone losing their job, especially in pro wrestling. You're never going to see me write the column that says they should just let her go. But I just don't know if WWE is a good fit for her. Maybe another company that's not WWE is a good fit for her, where she can learn her craft. If she's serious about this and she's not just using WWE as a platform to become a star in other places, as I suspect she is, in my opinion, maybe she should go somewhere else and learn her craft where she can take her time, discover who she is, and get better in the ring first and foremost. That's me talking. Maybe I'm dead wrong. And she'll be a Hall of Famer one day. I don't know. I'm just telling you how I feel right now today. George says WWE's beginning to lose its luster and becoming boring. I don't think it's becoming boring, dude. I think it's been boring for a while, depending on what you're talking about. I watch the product. It's my job to watch the product. I would probably watch it anyway, to be fair. I'm still a fan. Be fan for life of all pro wrestling, as much as I can consume. But to your point, it's not always the most exciting program. Just not. Mark says doesn't like the direction they're taking with her. He says fat is beautiful and it isn't. Mark, let's take a step back here, Mark, before you get crucified on this thread, because I don't want to see that happen to you. Let's don't name call. You said that she says fat is beautiful and it isn't. Mark, that's your opinion. Okay. I've lost 49 pounds and I hope to lose 49 more. At my biggest, am I disgusting? I don't think so. I'm unhealthy, but I'm trying to get better. Okay. So because you don't find it appealing or attractive, that's your call and that's your taste, and no one should blast you for that. But don't blast other people because they find a bigger woman sexy or attractive. That's not why I'm bagging on her. I'm bagging on her because she doesn't deserve the spot that she's getting against the men. She just doesn't. Chyna didn't deserve it either. She just didn't. Okay. She had it because of her muscles and because of her physique and because she could handle herself in the ring. Nia doesn't have any of that. Nia has it because she's big enough to hold her own against men, and because of her name, in my opinion, and because it's a novelty, and because WWE wants to do something different. But she's not getting this because she earned it. She didn't earn it. And I'm not going to lose a lot of sleep over it because WWE often hands out things because people haven't earned it. That's just me talking. We've seen it before where guys win titles. And you're like, why'd this guy win a title? He sucks. That's WWE. Don't allow yourself to get too bent out of shape over it, man, because that's what the company does. They hand out things. They just, here's a belt. And a lot of times the guy winning the belt, you're like, oh God, don't give him that belt. Don't lose a lot of sleep over it. Just because WWE does it, it's not an indictment on the business of professional wrestling, which is hard sometimes for yours truly to remember, but it's true. It's one company doing one thing. Now it's on a worldwide stage. They're the biggest company doing it. So when they do it, it looks like an edict passed down on the entire state of the pro wrestling business, right? I mean, I'm just saying you kind of take it that way because they're the biggest dog in the yard, biggest game in town. But at the same time, they often make moves that don't make any sense. Putting her at the forefront of women versus men suddenly, I'm not buying it. You guys want to talk about it, so I'm talking about it. I don't understand it. All right, so Mark brought up, it was like when Arquette won the WCW belt years ago. Mark, to your point, David didn't want that title. He didn't want the belt. They talked him into it. He didn't want it. He's like, you can't ask me to win this. It'll get me too much heat. I don't want anything to do with that. I'm not a wrestler. But they did it as a novelty, did it as a publicity stunt. And if you've ever read Flair's book, To Be the Man, he said that the night he won it, that they're backstage. Read the book. It's a great little excerpt. They're backstage, and Arquette says to him, Rick, what do I do with this thing? I didn't even want this. What do I do? And Rick says, I tell you what you do. He said, tonight we go to the bar after the show, and you buy every guy in that bar a round of drinks. All the drinks are on you for the boys, and show them that you're one of them. That's what you do. Take the belt with you. And according to Flair, that's what he did. David went to the bar with him that night, had the belt over his shoulder, and bought a round of drinks for everybody. And they hung out because they saw he wasn't some Hollywood guy, that he was just a fan that was put in a really weird position, didn't want the belt, but he was playing along because that's what they asked him to do. That's my take. Okay, yeah, James Ellsworth never got a belt. Yeah, that's true. Yep. And maybe that's a good thing. No offense against James. James has come up through the system, right? But he doesn't have a body. He doesn't have a look. He can work, okay? But he was put in one silly situation after another. I'm not defending the guy. I'm just saying we know why they brought him on board. They didn't bring him on board for his ring skill. That he was supposed to be a comedy act, and he fulfilled his purpose. Just saying. No, I don't think that Ambrose leaving is a work at all. Someone asked me, what belt am I talking about? I'm lost, Charlie. We were talking about WCW Championship, David Arquette. NXT Takeover from someone who lost 40 pounds. It's easy to do. It isn't easy to do so. We don't know what's going on with her. It can be health stuff. That's true. And Tina, to your point, if she looked like China, but she wrestled like Nia, I would still have a problem with this. I don't care about the size. I don't care. I just believe she doesn't deserve this spot. That's me talking. So I'll try not to throw her under the truck anymore, or under the bus, as it were. So it's all good. All right, so that leads into the Royal Rumble. The Ladies Royal Rumble. Becky Lynch won the 30-woman Royal Rumble. So Becky wins the Rumble. I don't think that was any shock there. I like the fact that a ton of veterans weren't brought out for the Rumble. No disrespect against the ladies intended, but I like the fact that there was more of a focus on the talent from today. I enjoyed that. I didn't really want any surprises in terms of, well, here's Trish and Lita again. No disrespect. I'm glad they moved on. You know what I mean? It was nice to see them come back and have a little run, but you need to move on now. Just like you would with the men. No different. And just because you feel that way about the men doesn't mean you're backing on any of the men either. You just want to move on. Just me talking. I think Rhea Ripley had a great little pop and did better than I thought. And I like Rhea a lot. She's growing on me. That's a tough chick, man. And I enjoy watching her stuff in the ring. Thought it was good. I thought the showdown between Nia and Becky could have been a little better. I was waiting for that massive impact because the stare down was so nice, but I didn't really get what I was kind of hoping for on that. Mark said he really wanted to see Charlotte win. Interesting. I think a lot of people did, man. Andy says, I don't have a problem. Becky won, just feels women's division is getting a bit dull. All the same women in the same matches. Andy, but to your point, here's the thing. And this is going to sound like a silly argument to make, not against you, but to you, okay? I like the dull. Do you know why? Because we're talking about women's wrestling that didn't even exist. That had been relegated to bra and panties matches and gravy butt matches and mud matches and put a lingerie on a pole and try to take it off the other chick and show her breasts. And I don't know what the frick that... Nonsense. All nonsense, okay? We're talking about women's wrestling now. Women's competitive wrestling matches, main events. They're on pay-per-view. Main eventing Raw and SmackDown. Probably going to main event WrestleMania. Yeah, it's going to be a little dull. You want to know why? Because the weekly grind of weekly TV dictates that you can't always have the most exciting match all the time. If you don't believe me, look at the men's division. It's the same matches all the time, man. But you know what? I'd much rather have this conversation with you about the women versus, God, I wish women would get a chance. This is ridiculous. Because I had that conversation on a lot of podcasts and a lot of columns with a lot of fans over the past 10 years. And it was really freaking insane, man. I'd much rather have this conversation with you. I think it's only natural that there would be moments of dullness and moments of, God, I wish it would pick up. I know, and I'm with you, okay? I'm not disagreeing with your point at all. I'm just saying I'd much rather have this conversation than the other one because the other one sucks. James says Nikki Cross. Loves me some Nikki Cross. I do. I dig that girl, for real. Casey Catanzaro. I don't want to mispronounce her name. Yeah, she had a good little showing for sure. No pun intended. Good little showing. That's a small girl, man. But yeah, she's fully capable. Tina says women's storylines are better than men's. Hot take. Yeah. Nice to see Hornswoggle. I didn't know I wanted to see Hornswoggle stalking Zelina Vega until I saw Hornswoggle stalking Zelina Vega. And now all I want on earth is to see Hornswoggle stalking Zelina Vega. When he came out from under the ring and he gave her that little wave. And Hornswoggle's a good guy, dude. If you've ever heard an interview with him out of character and stuff, good guy. Smart guy. Good person is my takeaway from him. I'm rooting for the guy. I hope he comes back more than this. I'm not kidding. I love it. I just can't get enough of that. I thought it was a really, really nice touch. Okay, so Tom says, can't wait for the women's tag team to start up. I agree with that, 100%. Ronald says he misses Layla. I miss Layla in the ring. She's a good worker. I don't miss her character too much. Mark says Vega is sexy. Vega played AJ Lee in Fighting With My Family. By the way, I went to the private screening of Fighting With My Family. I told you guys we're going to talk about it. Let's take just a minute. We'll get back to the Rumble, okay? I went to a private screening in Charlotte where they warned all of us there, no cell phones, or we'll throw you out of here. I'm like, hey, man, I have no problem with that. Every movie you go see should have ushers threatening to throw you out if you pull out a cell phone. And there was two ushers that stood in there and watched us the whole time. It's crazy. The movie is good. It's out nationwide February 22nd, I think. Go watch it. It's good. It's so good. It's much better than I ever expected. The budget's not high. It doesn't need to be. The cast is not huge. Doesn't need to be. Nick Frost steals the show as Paige's dad. Fantastic. The actor that played Zach, his name escapes me, really good. Florence Pugh, I think you pronounce her name, that plays Paige, well done. Dude, it's a good movie. I'm not kidding. Is it going to win an Oscar? Maybe not, but I'm just saying it's entertaining. It's funny. It has heart. The comedy in it is outstanding. You're going to dig this movie for sure. Rated out of 10, I'll give it a 6, maybe a 7. I'm serious. If I had to throw a number to it, it's entertaining. If you're not even a pro wrestling fan, you get something out of this movie because it's fun. It's a fun flick, man. For real. I was pleasantly surprised. I'm not saying I thought it was going to be bad. I didn't expect it to be as good as it was. I'm not blowing it up because it's a wrestling movie either. I'm being honest with you folks. I really enjoyed it. Is Paige Hall of Fame worthy? In terms of WWE, sure. Yeah, because it's WWE. And you quantify who does belong in that Hall of Fame because of one guy, and that's Vince McMahon. Listen, you and I and everybody else can sit here and debate all day long the pros and cons of certain people being in the Hall of Fame, certain people not being in the Hall of Fame, who deserves it and who doesn't, all other jazz, to be honest with you. And I probably will all the time, just as you guys probably always will. But it's one guy's call. It's one Hall of Fame. That's all it is. It's one Hall of Fame, one guy's call. In terms of WWE, yeah, should be there. I'm just saying. Michael brought up her, the stuff with all the stuff with the Paige not having any clothes on. She had nothing to do with those videos being released. That was against her will. And in my opinion, had Chyna's sex tape that was supposedly released without her knowledge, she didn't have any part of that. Had that been the only thing that happened, she'd be in the Hall of Fame right now. But the fact that she had sex on camera for money as a vacation keeps her out of the Hall of Fame. And Paige's does not, because it was not done with her blessing. She didn't do it. She's got a personal life. You do. I do. We've all done stuff in our personal life we probably would not like the rest of the world to know. Can I be honest? It doesn't mean it's stuff that puts you in jail necessarily, but it's stuff that you'd be like, oh God, please don't let anyone find out about that. I got it too. We all have it. Something, don't we? It is what it is, right? So, you can't hold that against her because it's not fair to. You know what I mean? Same with Seth Rollins. Absolutely. Agree with you at 100%. You're right. You're right. She can control how she behaves, George. But no, she can't control who decides to steal and release stuff like that. Mickey James, same. Yeah, for sure. New Age Outlaws for the Hall of Fame. I agree with that 100%. So, what's over 15 years ago, James? What's over 15 years ago? It's about the Chyna thing? Chyna didn't have sex on tape 15 years ago. Hasn't been that long, has it? I'm talking about getting paid to be a porn star, dude. That's what I'm talking about for sure. What is Paige's new role in WWE? I don't think anyone knows what they're going to do. What pop figure do you not have but want? Will says. Oh my goodness. What one do I have but... All right, so WWE is going to release some new pop vinyls in March, I believe. There's going to be a brand new Ric Flair pop vinyl. Old school Ric Flair with the long hair. Red robe, red boots. I want that one. That's the one I want, man. So, can't wait. I'll probably pre-order that sucker. I don't know if anyone else has a movie about their life. I think for sure should be in Hall of Fame. Yeah, I agree with you, Andrew. 100%. Let's see. All right, let's get back to the Rumble, and we'll finish up the card here, okay? So Becky Lynch is your winner. Going to head to face Ronda Rousey. and probably Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania 35, and hopefully what will be the main event. WWE Champion Daniel Bryan defeats AJ Styles to retain the WWE Championship. So this match got no reaction. You can't go on after Becky Lynch wins the Rumble. It's dumb. And if you know you're going on after her, you're going, this is dumb. It sucked for them. The match didn't suck. I was fine with the match. I've been tested on this online since Sunday by people countering with the opinion that they just don't have a lot of chemistry. Their matches tend to just be very fluid and, well worked, but no intensity, no charisma, no drama, no showboating, and all that kind of stuff. I'm okay with some of that argument. I'm okay with some of that opinion because, no, I don't think it's the most entertaining match that I've ever seen. It is one of the most well-wrestled matches of the night. I will be honest with you on that. I completely agree with that. Does it deserve all the heat that it got? No, it doesn't. Does it deserve the slamming, the critique that it received from fans and insiders and stuff? No, I don't believe so either. I think the match was much better than it's getting credit for. But no, the crowd wasn't into it, and I think that killed it. So Mark says the fans of now just don't have that pop or heart into it anymore. It's a different reaction, Mark. It's a different heart, different pop. It's a different sort of way of looking at things. As much as you and I, Mark, I'm guessing you as well, as much as you and I would like to rewind back to the 80s in terms of the 1980s pro wrestling territory crowd, the fact is we can't. I want to. We can't. Those fans were truly, truly exceptional, had a ton of heart, truly had a ton of love and a ton of passion. There's passion still there. It's not what it used to be. It is what it is. I don't like it any more than you do probably, but I can't rewind it. And Mark says Daniel Bryan just was born. AJ didn't see himself. I can't argue with a lot of that. Okay, so let's wind up on the Rumble here, folks. Brock Lesnar defeats Finn Balor because we all knew Finn was not going to win the championship. I didn't write the piece predicting he wouldn't win it, but I did write several pieces in the week leading up to it saying I don't know if he can do this because Brock never loses to anyone, and he does it, and he didn't, and he probably won't. This is setting up Seth Rollins versus Brock Lesnar because Seth won the Royal Rumble match, the men's Royal Rumble match. Seth Rollins is your winner. He will challenge for the Universal Championship. He took 6 F5s because that's what WWE does. They want to make you think it's going one way and then go left suddenly when you thought they were going to go right. So there you have it, folks. There's the Royal Rumble card. There's the NXT Takeover card. It's all in the bag. It's all out there for the whole world to see and hear. Go watch the replays as you want to. It's all good. So now, let's wrap up the program and talk about some of the fallout. So we got Becky showing up on SmackDown, throwing that nice little hi-ya to Charlotte and taking her down. They brawl. Charlotte goes out to the leg. Charlotte's probably going to be added to the match. I've written a couple different columns. Got one coming out this weekend for the Chairshot, which says that it's a good move. It's perfect symmetry, and it is. The whole reason for Becky turning on Charlotte to begin with is because she felt that Charlotte was overshadowing her, taking her spotlight, taking her fame, taking her spot. And now, once again, what's happening? She's going to be stuck back into Becky's face again, this time the biggest match of all three women's careers in WWE for sure. And it's just more fuel to the fire, more ammunition, more everything to be thrown back into the forefront for the heat between Becky and Charlotte. And it's perfect. It's perfect symmetry. Charlotte and Ronda have history. They got to get back to that and settle their differences. A lot of things get accomplished by having a triple threat main event at WrestleMania. I would rather it be an elimination match. If I can give you my opinion real quick, I think it's much more believable and much better. Becky pins Charlotte first, pins Ronda second. She's undisputable as the best female wrestler in WWE. That's if you really want to create a star, that's how you do it. Bully Ray said as much on Busted Open. I completely agree with his sentiment. He said it better than I did. But it's 100% agree. So what are we guys thinking right now, folks? Jim says McIntyre should have won the Rumble. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. I like Drew. I like Drew a lot. Time, Jim. Just take time, man. See if time is enough to get him up the ladder. We'll see what happens. Andrew, you don't think that main eventing WrestleMania 35 to be the biggest match of Charlotte Flair's career? Andrew, I disagree with that, man. I disagree. I'm talking about the last match. Because I've been saying for a year they're going to go on last. I have been saying that. I have been predicting that, folks, for sure. By the way, I'm getting ready to watch the Kushida's last match in New Japan. against Tanahashi. Lose the last match in Japan, period. He came into the ring and laid down on the mat to just enjoy the moment. Kind of puts a tear in your eye, man. I love Kushida. I kind of hope he doesn't show up in WWE. Only because I don't know if they know what to do with him. But he's going. That's the buzz. He's going. Supposedly, other Japanese wrestlers are advising him. Who was Jushin Thunder Liger even said, "Hey, I spent some time there. You need to go. You need to go see what it's like." So he's probably going to go. A new experience, different experience, biggest pro wrestling company in the world, sure. But yeah, the amount of work he did for New Japan, his legacy will never be touched. That's for sure. Yeah, absolutely. Everyone's dreamed to headline a Mania. Absolutely. Naman says, love the babyface Elias. Why did they turn him heel? I didn't love him as a heel or a babyface. I'm still not sold on Elias. Just me talking. I want to see Matt Hardy and his brother be the next SmackDown Tag Team Champion. Charlie, I love the way you said that. I want to see Matt Hardy. Okay, sure, and his brother. Isn't it funny how things would change with Matt and Jeff? Isn't that crazy? And I'm sure that both guys love that too, by the way. Tina says she doesn't want Charlotte in that match. A lot of people are saying that. I just think it's perfect, to be honest. I just think there's too much perfection there to be had. I think it's too much for WWE to pass up. Plus, this sets Asuka up against someone else for the SmackDown Women's title, while the other three ladies battle it out for the Raw Women's title. George says, don't get used to seeing Jeff Jarrett. Understand he's going to take a job with AEW. He's signed with WWE. He's not going to AEW, man. I don't know where you heard that from, but the word is that he's signed with WWE as a backstage role as backstage producer. It was official this week. So I don't know where you're getting your info, but that's not what I've been told. Yeah. So Mark says he loves Elias. Best Mike Seals going. Oh, Mark needs to lie down and take a nap, folks. Mark, after the show, Tylenol, take a nap. Just saying. I'm just playing, man. You can have your favorites. Fine with me. I'm not going to bust you for that, man. That's cool. So what else is going on? So we talked about the Nia Jax thing. What's up with the Bryan's and WWE title? Good stuff, Naman. It's great. I love it. Why can't Brock talk on the mic? Because Brock can't talk, period. Raymond, he just can't. Brock can't talk at all. I don't know how the guy carries on conversation without, losing his place. A lot of shots to the head. I'm kidding. Last thing I want is to insult a pro wrestler, and there's no reason to do it, no reason to be petty. And the last thing I want to do, especially, is insult Brock Lesnar. He tends to give out German suplexes a lot without breaking a sweat. I do not want to be the recipient of said German suplex. That's just me talking. Let's see. Who will Asuka wrestle at WrestleMania? My guess, if you had to ask me right now, I guess you are. I'll say Naomi. I think it makes the most sense. Don't know if it's going to happen, but I think it will. That's just my take. Maybe it'll be somebody else. What do you think about Rowan with Bryan? Might as well put Rowan with him. What else is he going to do? What else are you going to do with him? You haven't done anything with him. You put him and Harper together for like 10 minutes. And then Rowan got hurt, right? Whatever. Daniel with a sidekick's a good idea. Daniel's a smaller guy. Having a heater with him. Having a Kevin Nash character or figure with him like a bodyguard kind of guy. Sure. He'll just get him more heat. I think that's a good thing. Will the women's tag team title be held on both brands at the Elimination Chamber? Josh poses a good question. Josh, I have heard two things. I've heard one, that whoever wins the title, if they're a Raw team, the belts go to Raw. If the SmackDown team, the belts go to SmackDown, okay? But then I've also been told that no, the titles will be defended on both brands. In my opinion, you defend the titles on both brands and maybe even take them other places too. I know NXT UK is going to have have NXT UK. They've got tag team championships, but not women's tag team championships. Why not take the belts there as well? I'm just asking a question. When is 205 Live going to introduce a female division? Is that possible? I mean, most women, I would say, are under 205 pounds are competing in WWE, so would that even make any sense? I'm just throwing it out there for you. I don't know what the answer is, Just a thought, just a random query, just a random observation. Keep your doors open. Hey, Betty, what's up? You're late. Betty's late, folks. Jim says Brock can talk. Problem is, he says things like, I'll rip your head off. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's not a good idea. So real quick, we had a show that we ran back in the day. I was a member of a heel group, and we were going to have one of our guys turn on us. He wanted to turn face and try something else. We were all heels, right? And we knew with this guy, you don't give a mic to Adam. Never give a mic to Adam because Adam can't talk. He couldn't talk. And he admitted, I can't talk, man. I'll freeze up. So we're in the ring, and I've got the mic, and I say something, and I hand it back to the ring announcer. Well, he hands the mic to Adam. Here you go. And I'm going, oh, God, don't let him talk. And I'm trying not to move my lips. I'm like, don't let him talk. And Adam's just like this. And all of a sudden, he just cuts a promo on me in the middle of the ring, calls me all sorts of crazy names, puts together a curious combination of curse words that I'd never heard in my life and still never heard to this day. And stuff that would make Scott Steiner blush. So then we jump him and lay him out, and he turns face. So after the match, we get back through the curtain, and I'm just smiling. I'm like, what did you call me out there? And Adam's like, dude, I'm sorry, man. I didn't know what to say. I froze up. Some guys just don't need the mic in their hand. Brock Lesnar's one of them. Okay, so you want to talk about the Ambrose thing, Raymond? Let's talk about Ambrose thing. So, WWE released a statement this week ahead of Ambrose's contract ending in April, saying that Ambrose is done. In X number of years, I'm not going to tell you because I'm old. I've been watching wrestling since I was 3. I've never seen a wrestling company announce a guy's departure this far ahead of the game and this far ahead of the departure itself without there being something to it. First of all, I've never seen it happen. Second of all, because it's happened, a lot of people believe there's something to this, that there's nonsense, that there's evil afoot. I will tell you that it looks like they're setting up for for Nia versus Dean, which I want no part of. I don't want to see that. As I said before, I don't agree. I don't agree with her getting that spot because she doesn't deserve it and she hasn't earned it. And that's my take. I'm not gonna run from that. I don't know if the announcements will work. I would say it's not. But here's the deal. Just because it's not doesn't mean they won't have fun with it on his way out. And in my opinion, they would like to devalue him as much as possible so that a company like AEW would look at it and say, how can we put this guy on our TV when he lost to a woman in a main event at WrestleMania or during a match at WrestleMania? Now, there's a whole lot of stuff I just said that can be taken out of context, so allow me to clarify. It's not about I believe women are inferior. I never said that, and I don't believe that. Okay? But what you're asking fans to accept is that Dean Ambrose, who has bled buckets in this business, who took on Brock Lesnar and never flinched and gave him everything he could handle in that match. He did. Who has stood toe-to-toe with some of the best in that company, is going to be pinned by a woman. Now, I know what you're thinking, Tom, just because she's a woman that is Nia Jax, not Ronda Rousey. If you look at me in the eye and say Ronda Rousey is going to make Dean Ambrose tap out, I'd say, yeah, she will. Not Nia Jax, folks. They're taking a talent that they know is under heat. They know is under pressure. They know has been hit from 6 ways from Sunday with all kinds of comments like, you can't wrestle, you can't work, you're terrible, you're sloppy, you botch. And by the way, all that's true, okay? And then you're going to make the guy job to her on the way out the door. Is this Chyna and Jeff Jarrett all over again? Chyna was a better worker than Nia is, and she wasn't the best either. This is me talking. I don't know the answer to any of that. But I can tell you what I think's going on. That's my opinion. I think the name of the game is sticking it to Dean on the way out. Does that mean I think WWE is full of vile, backstabbing heathens and Dean Ambrose is secretly hating his life and plotting against WWE and he's got a voodoo doll of Nia Jax with pins? No. Nia's going along with the plan, with the booking. She's going to do what she's being asked to do. No sense in making it personal. And I don't know if any of this is even happening to begin with. I'm giving you what I think is going to happen. It's my take. It's my analysis, folks. I wouldn't be surprised if the company's done worse stuff to other people. I'm just saying. Mitchell says, keep going back to Nia. Let's talk about the women's tag first ever champs prediction. Bayley and Sasha. Mitchell? Are you happy, Mitchell? I'm playing. Relax. That's my prediction. See, Paul says, hey, we talk about Nia so much, but it is what it is. Paul, it's the story of the day, man. You don't want to talk about Nia. Everybody's getting upset because I'm talking about Nia. Fine, we'll quit talking about Nia. You asked about Dean. I gave you my take, bro. That's my take. So there you go. That's my take. Boom. Happy now? I don't think it's a work. I think Dean's gone. I think that they made him take mustard and ketchup and squirt it on Randy Orton, and I think that's stupid. And I think they made him take a lot of other things he had to plant. Did I laugh over some of that? Sure, it was funny. Is it what Dean Ambrose wants? Probably not. But having said all that, let's hit the rewind button for a sec and ask this question. Couldn't you have said something? Did he? If anyone in that company, the history of that company, has ever proven you can have an opinion and stick to it, it's CM Punk. Now, I'm not suggesting that Dean Ambrose go off on a CM Punk tirade and blast creative and tear up the creative plans, throw them in the trash in front of the writer or anything like that. But dude, if you're uncomfortable, how many times have you been at work and been told or asked to do something that you just disagree with? Is the boss going to fire you because you ask why? No. But he also won't fire you for doing it. Right? So why don't you just ask? Why don't you just say, why am I doing this? Can I ask why I'm doing this, boss? Is it okay for me to ask? If you had such a problem, why didn't he ever make noise? And I heard someone on another podcast yesterday say, well, it's common knowledge he's been unhappy for a long time. Common knowledge to who? Who's been writing that? I haven't. Have you read it? I haven't read it anywhere that he's been unhappy for a long time. That just came out. You want to know why it just came out? Because he didn't tell anybody. Because no one told anybody. Because he probably didn't speak up. If he said anything, he kept it to himself or kept it to his close inner circle of friends and didn't tell anyone in the company. If you don't like what you're being fed to do, tell someone. That's me talking. I know what you're thinking. Well, Tom, he's going to be overruled. This is Vince's company. If you say anything, he'll be pushed down. He doesn't care that he's leaving now. Why would he have cared 3 years ago? If money doesn't matter, and obviously doesn't to this guy, and kudos to him, why not mention it 3 years ago? Just asking a question. That's just me. Dean lost because of an exploding TV plugged in under the ring. Dean lost because of an exploding TV plugged in under the ring. Jimmy, you lost me. There's probably a story there. I don't know what it is. Who will be the last 3 teams from SmackDown Elimination Chamber for the women's tag team? Oh, cool, dude. I don't know. You'd have to think the Riot Squad will be in the mix. They've worked all year. Thank you, Harry. I have an extensive pop vinyl collection. It's growing by the day. I'm getting John Wick in the mail today from Amazon. Thank you very much. I don't know. I think the Riot Squad deserve to be in the mix. I still think Bayley and Sasha are going to win. Doesn't mean they will. I wouldn't be surprised if the Riot Squad won the belts. Maybe they should. I'd buy that. Why not? Let's see. It's your show, and if you want to talk about it, you have the right to. Hey, Robbie. Thanks, man. See, Robbie likes me. See there? Hey, man, I give you guys grief. I don't mean to. It is what it is. I just like to have fun. That's all. It's my show, but it's not my Facebook page. Ah, Robbie, see, if you're on my Facebook page, I'd say, one of you can... No, I wouldn't say anything bad. It's okay. But to your point, you came here to talk about wrestling. You want to snap, move on to the next topic. I'm good with that. I'm not losing any sleep over it. Choche, what's up, my friend? I love Daniel Bryan's new title belt. Mandy versus Asuka. Why not? Is Dean going to AEW wrestling? Maybe. Supposedly he's friends with those guys. I'm sure. Dude, when you hear the comment like, he's friends with those guys, a lot of these guys know each other on the outside. Just because they don't work for WWE doesn't mean they're not friendly. How do you not know that Cody's on his text right now talking to him? It doesn't mean Cody's saying, Dean, you got to come over here and screw those guys. It doesn't matter. Come on. It just means you're friendly. The expression that you'll always hear in a locker room, I'll see you down the road. That's what you say when you're released or your friend's released or you go to another company or you retire, whatever. It's always, I'll see you down the road. That's just how these guys relate to each other. Okay, you don't end up in the same company at the same time? It is what it is, man. I'll see you down the road. That's just how it is. I wouldn't be surprised if he went there. What about R-Truth winning the U.S. Championship? I like the fact that he won it. I love R-Truth. We talked about that a little bit already, but yeah, I dig it. You're right. The girls in Riot Squad are tight. Can't argue that at all. What WWE wants to end on good terms with Dean. If they want to end on good terms with Dean, Damon, then he shouldn't job to Nia Jax on the way out, as I suspect will happen. I'm not predicting he's going to, folks. I suspect he will. That's just my gut feeling right now. Just how I feel. Maybe I'm wrong. Hope I'm wrong. I don't think he deserves that because, again, she's untested. You know what? I take it back. She's tested and it didn't work. I don't want to see it happen. It's me talking. Thanks, Steve. Appreciate it, man. Mark, thank you, brother. Mark, am I freezing up on you, man? I'm sorry, dude. Thank you, Severin. Valerie. Is that your first name? You know what's interesting is that some folks put their last name first and their first name last on Facebook. I've made that mistake before, so my apologies if I screwed up with you, man. I'm sorry. When will they push Rey Mysterio? I think they're pushing Rey now. If you're asking, are they going to push them to the championship? I don't think they are. They could. But, Ray versus Daniel's not really an underdog story because Daniel's not that much bigger than Ray. It's just a thought, man. I could be wrong, and it's the next program they get into. I don't know. It'd be a good match, be a good feud, I think, right? The addition of Rowan throws a wrench in the machine for Ray, right? That'd be some heat he has to try to get past for sure. Valerie is the last name. Okay, cool. Severin. By the way, I love that freaking first name, dude. Severin. Severin? Yeah, man, that's awesome. Walk with Tom. I got an acoustic in the closet. I could get it out. No, I got a bass. I'd rather play the bass. And I could play a bass and we could just all hum along to it or something. Yeah, I like that name, dude. It's cool. Joe versus Daniel. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, sure. I'm going to tell you right now, man. Joe, one of his, when Kurt went to TNA and on his first night in, headbutted Joe and busted him open. That's a great memory. That's one of the best memories I've had of classic TNA. Hard to imagine those words together, classic TNA, but it's true. Who wants to walk with Tom? I like that. You ain't got to walk. You just sit there and I'll talk to you. Who wants to sit with Tom and watch his show? Look at his shirt and his pops and hear about the weight loss. It's not as exciting and it takes longer. And I don't know if you can fit all that on a t-shirt, but I can give it a shot. Joe is an amazing heel. How do I get updates and notifications to your podcast? You're the best. Severin, you're awesome. Thank you. I don't know. Subscribe on iTunes. That's your answer, my friend. Subscribe on iTunes. What's up, Jenna? Have I said hello to you? I haven't. I'm sorry. Subscribe on iTunes, man. Tom Clark's Main Event on iTunes. Leave me a review when you do, please. And every time a new episode is downloaded, it hits the device of your choosing. Your phone, your computer, your iPod, your iPad, whatever you got, man. It'll hit it. Your tablet. Boom, there you are. That's the best way I can tell you. Follow Wrestling Rumors Facebook page. Follow me. If we're not friends on the Facebook, send me a request via Wrestling Rumors Facebook on the Messenger, and I will send you a friend request. I promise you that. Everyone that's done it, I've done it. And now we're friends, buddies, compadres, amigos, bros, dudes. I do the same thing every week. I'm kind of rehearsed it, so there you go. Is Nakamura's contract ending soon? I don't know how long his contract is. If it is, I hope he resigns. I know you think that sounds silly, but again, I ask you, if he leaves, what is left to do in New Japan? Jay White? Sure. Getting back up with Tanahashi and Okada? Okay. Kenny Omega's gone now. I would say he's probably gone. By the way, Kenny Omega's contract ended. I don't know if it's officially ended for him, but January 31st, it was through January 31st. Now keep in mind time zones, differences, Japan, America, all that other stuff. But we're probably within hours of him either finishing or finished. So it's about to get a lot more exciting if you're a pro wrestling fan. You follow this stuff religiously like I do. A lot more stuff to write about for sure. By the way, I've got stuff in the works. As I told you folks before, I am traveling tonight with my kid to see New Japan in Charlotte. I'll probably post a little something on the Facebook page for Wrestling Rumors. Keep your eyes open for that. I contacted a wrestling promotion today, which shall remain nameless. I won't talk about it. But I contacted them today. I'm interested in doing some press for them, some interviews and coverage and things of that nature. I do plan on going to see the Crockett Cup tournament in Concord. That is Ring of Honor and NWA. It's going to happen on April 27th. I'll be there for that. That'll be fun. I am trying to get an interview with a cast member from Fighting With My Family, and I'll be writing a column on that within the next few days. So please keep your eyes open for that as well. So I think that's about all we got, man. Real quick, we'll take a couple rapid fire and then we're going to call it a day, all right? So, Hurt Shin and Rusev are going to be a tag team. I'll buy it. Why not? And when WWE doesn't know what they're doing with singles guys, they put them in a team. Doesn't always work. Maybe it will here. I don't know. I'd be okay with that. I think I was better with Shin and Randy as a unit, to be honest with you, but that's just me talking. I don't follow English wrestling, Harry. I'd love to. Progress Wrestling isn't Progress in English. Am I wrong? I have seen tidbits here and there. I saw the Jordan Devlin and Walter match, the video package leading up to it. God, it was so good. So good. I have checked out Progress before, Dragon's Gate a little. I need to get more in tune with that. Can I be honest? I really need to. It's something I want to do. It's never been anything I don't want to do. I do want to do it for sure. So yeah, nothing I want to make up right now, Jeremy. We're all waiting to see what happens. Thank you, Brenda. Thanks for hanging out. Batista versus Triple H, Jason is still a possibility. I think Hunter's probably fully recovered, is my guess. I still think we could see it at WrestleMania 35. So we'll see what happens. I think that Seth going to beat Lesnar. That's a question of the day, my friend. No one beats Lesnar. We'll see. I think it would make sense for him to beat him, but stay tuned. Let's find out. All right, folks, I think that's all we got here, man. We've been going for about an hour and 20 minutes, so it's been a pretty long show. Thanks for tuning in, man. I got a quick announcement before everybody starts clicking off and telling me goodbye. I've got something big happening next Friday. I'm not going to be able to do the show, okay? If I am able to reschedule the show next week, I will put it on Wrestling Rumors Facebook page. So please keep check with Wrestling Rumors on Facebook to look for an announcement from me in the next week or so about a possible rescheduling of Tom Clark's main event, okay, for next week. Please keep up with that, all right? Please check it out. My apologies. Life beckons. I got something I got to take care of next Friday that needs my attention, and it's important, and I'm going to be there for it. So please keep an eye on Wrestling Rumors Facebook page. I'll keep you updated as much as I can. If I can reschedule sometime for the next 7 days, I definitely will do that. Okay. That's all I got for you, folks. Thanks again for watching. And please remember, if you're not subscribing to the show on iTunes, please do it. It's free. I never charge anything. I write a lot of stuff for a lot of places. ProWrestling.com, Wrestling Rumors. That's where you are right now. WrestlingRumors.net, the Sports Daily, the Chairshot.com. None of my content, it's all free of charge. The podcast is free. Watching this show, everything I do is free. You want to talk to me and be my friend, there's never a charge for that, man. I appreciate all the love as always. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out. Thanks for listening. It continues to mean the world to me. Means a lot that you guys are always hanging around. Please tell your friends. If you're not a pro, if you got friends that are pro wrestling fans, they don't watch the show, they don't know who I am or whatever, please hook them up. I'd love to talk to them and love to make friends with them, okay? So that's it, man. We got to roll out of here. We appreciate the love. We appreciate your business, all right? Please remember to check us out. Twitter, Tom Clark Writes, WRITES. Again, if we're not friends on Facebook, send me a request in the instant messenger and I will accept. That's all we got, man. We'll see you next time on Tom Clark's Main Event.